I'm going to keep this video pretty basic. We're just going to talk about how to evaluate perfect squares, so things that are already perfect squares that we want to take the square root of. So if I have the square root of 121, we're trying to think of what number times itself gives us 121. And in this case, you can either take the square root in your calculator, or you can, hopefully this is one maybe that you know. And 11 times 11 is equal to 121, so the square root of 121 is 11. Now, when we throw x's in the mix, the same sort of logic will apply here. So first off, if we're taking the square root, we're going to take the square root of each one of these here separately. So we'll take the square root of 4, take the square root of x squared. And to start, the square root of 4 we should know is 2. And the square root of x squared, these are just inverse operations, so they're going to cancel each other out, and we'll just be left with the x. Another way to think about that is when you're taking the square root, the index, or the root that you're taking, is 2, even though we don't write it. And to figure this out, what we can do is divide the index into each of the exponents here to find out what comes out of the radical. So in this case, if we take 2 divided by 2, we would get x to the 1. Okay? To check that this works, we could use our laws of exponents here. If we take 2x squared, or we take 2x and we multiply it by itself, 2 times 2 is 4. And if we use our laws of exponents, x times x would be x squared if we add the exponents. So we get the same answer that we had before. So our answer here would be 2x. 2x times itself gives us 4x squared. All right, finally here, we're going to keep this video short. We've got the square root of 49, x to the 4th, y to the 10th. So once again, we'll take the square root of 49, which is 7. Since our index here is 2, the shortcut would be to divide 2 into each of these exponents, and that's what we should have for our powers of x that come out of the radical here. So for this one, x squared times itself gives us x to the 4th, and y to the 5th times itself gives us y to the 10th. We're just dividing 4 by 2, and we're dividing 10 by 2, and there will be our answer. Now let's check that this works. So if we square this, okay, 7 squared is 49. X squared squared, we have to multiply the exponents. That gives us x to the 4th. And finally, if we have y to the 5th squared, that will give us y to the 10th. We multiply the exponents. Or again, you could write it out twice like I did over here and check it that way as well. But you can see that these two match, which means we must have the correct answer here. So when you're taking square roots, again, we're just looking for what number or what term times itself would give us what's inside the radical. And that number inside the radical is called the radicand.